Well, we're in the second half of January, and it's time for another flower report. It's been more than 2 months since our first flower report of the season, and a lot has happened since then. Not only has 2 months passed, but we also had a significant cold snap right before Christmas. We also recently had a cold snap, but that will not have any visible effect on the trees now. That December cold snap is probably responsible for some of the bloom that we're seeing on some of the trees now. Right behind me, though, this is our star performer. Every year it's one of the first ones to bloom, and this is a little fruit of Julie. That's from the first bloom when we did the flower report 2 months ago. But also we have a lot of new flowers on Julie. So we have 2 different seasons going on this one part of this tree. So this is Phoenix, and Phoenix is just blooming all over the place. That top branch looks especially just gorgeous. This is Tess Pollock, and it's got a really nice bloom on it now, and this is actually its second bloom. It bloomed a little bit about 2 months ago. So here's our main turpentine tree, and if you look carefully, there are actually small fruit on this tree. This area right here is cack, and it's blooming, but all I'm seeing right now is mixed bloom. That's okay. It should still produce some fruit, but it does seem to have the leaves and the flowers in the same panicle. Here's fruit punch, and the panicles are just emerging now, and it looks like almost all of them are pure bloom. This is rosy gold. I'm seeing some pure bloom and some mixed bloom, but a lot of bloom. It looks like about at most 20% of this Jakarta tree is blooming. So we've got just random branches around that have some bloom on them. Here's Angie, and Angie is starting to put out a lot of bloom. Here's Rosa, and Rosa has finally started to bloom. It's a little late for the bloom in Rosa. We do have a few very small fruit, but then on the south side of the tree, we're seeing bloom. So here's our Valkyrie tree, and if you look closely on the very top of the tree, there's some bloom. So I think the whole tree is just about to explode in bloom. So this is gorgeous. Just look at that bloom against the sky. Got all sorts of bloom on this tree. This one happens to be dot. So we're hoping that all of these flowers means that we'll have a lot of dot fruit this year. Here's another tree with a lot of bloom. This is Edward. So again, hoping that that means that we'll get a lot of Edward fruit. So here we have bloom on Zil Indochinese. So not all of the tree is flowering yet, but it's looking good so far. So here we have just this one batch of flowers on this big Beverly tree. I see one more panicle, so definitely not bursting out all over in bloom. So Dwarf Hawaiian was flowering 2 months ago, and it's flowering again now. So we have lots of emerging flowers, and of course fruit from the first time it flowered. And here we have Carpe Diem flowering. We've got a lot of flowers here, but there are actually a lot that are emerging all over this tree. Here we have one panicle, and there's actually some very small fruit here. And the thing that is intriguing to me about this particular plant is that I think that it's a first-time fruiter, well, hopefully fruiter. It flowered for the first time. I think this is from one of my projects where I grafted interesting scions from interesting seedlings onto other rootstock. So we'll be watching this one panicle and crossing our fingers. Here is Doc Mai, and Doc Mai has been crazy this year. I mean, you can see that we have fruit on it and flowers. So, you know, we don't have a lot of fruit, but it's impressive to have fruit that is looking like it's turning color now. And got small fruit up on top and flowers, and look at that. That's a fruit that, oh, and this one, that one looks like it's ready to pick. So this is crazy to have so many different stages of fruit development on one tree. Let's see what this one is looking like. Looks a little bit small, but it does look very yellow. Looks like a sort of a hollow stem, so I think that was the right time to pick it. So crazy year for Doc Mai. We'll do another flower walkabout in a month or so, but for now, I mean, we've got a lot of bloom coming, so we hope that translates to a lot of fruit this summer.